Welcome to At Home with Music. I'm Leon Olguin. Have you ever sat down at the piano and tried to play something simple and your fourth finger just refuses to cooperate? It feels weak, slow, maybe even a little out of control. And you find yourself thinking, I must be doing something wrong. But here's the truth. You're not the problem. Your hand is just built a certain way. Now, my most viewed video on this channel was the one in which I demonstrated finger exercises that could be done without a piano, and I'll put a link to that video in the description. One of the exercises called for lifting each finger independently, and I received quite a few comments on how difficult it was when it came to the fourth finger. So I want to concentrate on that fourth finger in this video. So maybe you tried this. You put your hand on a table, I'm putting it here on the front of my keyboard, and you try to lift that fourth finger, and then the middle finger wants to come along and the pinky wants to come along, and that can be very frustrating. But it's not through lack of effort that you can't move that fourth finger easily. It's anatomy. So what's actually going on? Well, there's a great deal of information on this. Now, I'm not a certified hand therapist, and I'm not a kinesiologist. That's somebody who studies how the human body moves, especially how muscles, joints, and the nervous system work together. Well, I'm not either one of those things, but I am a long-time piano player who has wrestled with the fourth finger problem. And here's what I've learned. A huge reason for your ring finger's rebellious nature is something called the ulnar nerve. This is one of the three main nerves in your arm. It originates from a network of nerves in your neck and shoulder area. Now, I don't expect you to remember all this anatomy stuff, but just be aware that your body is a marvelously complex creation. Anyway, this nerve, the ulnar nerve, travels all the way down your arm and provides feeling and motor control to your pinky finger and about half of your ring finger, the half that's right next to the pinky. The other half of your ring finger, plus your middle and index fingers, they get their main signals from a different nerve. That's the median nerve. So you have this split command being sent to the fourth finger, and that's why your ring finger can feel so uncoordinated. The real trouble actually starts with the journey of the ulnar nerve. As it travels down your arm, it passes through a very narrow channel on the inside of your elbow called the cubital tunnel. Now, you know this spot. It's also known as your funny bone. You know, when you hit it there and you get that zinging, tingling shock, you're actually smacking the ulnar nerve directly against the bone. Ooh. Now, that tunnel is tight, and so the nerve can actually get compressed, pinched, irritated. It's a common condition known as cubital tunnel syndrome. Well, what causes this? Well, if you keep your elbow bent for a long time, maybe you sleep with your arm curled up, or if you're an old-fashioned guy like me, you're holding the phone to your ear, or you're resting your elbow on a desk, you're leaning on your elbow. What this does is it puts direct pressure on the nerve. Or maybe there's a repetitive motion that you're doing that involves a lot of bending and straightening of the elbow. That can also aggravate it. And so when this nerve, the ulnar nerve, gets squeezed at the elbow, the signals to your ring and pinky finger get a little staticky. The first signs are often numbness and tingling, especially at night. But over time, this can lead to real muscle weakness and clumsiness in those fingers. But in addition to the nerves, we must deal with the tendons that strengthen your fingers. You know, your fingers don't actually have muscles in them. Your hands do have muscles, but not your fingers. And the muscles that move your fingers are mostly up there in your forearm. And your fingers are being pulled by tendons, like strings on a puppet. So your fingers are controlled by tendons, and the fourth finger shares those tendons with the fingers next to it, your pinky and your third finger. So unlike your index finger or your thumb, your fourth finger doesn't have full independence. It's more like part of a team. These three fingers, they're like a team together. And sometimes the team doesn't listen very well. Now, this is something that even advanced piano players deal with. This is not something that you fix once and for all. I'm going to fix that fourth finger. So we need to have a mind shift, a mindset shift, I should say. We need to think about this in a different way. Instead of chasing finger independence, which can actually create tension, you want to think in terms of coordination. You're not trying to isolate the fourth finger completely. You want to teach your hand, your fingers, how to work together more efficiently. And that one idea, I believe, can change just about everything. I'm going to show you some simple exercises to help you deal with the weak fourth finger. These first two exercises do not require a piano and can be done anywhere. So this first exercise is the isolated finger lift. This one is all about building independent control and fighting against that tendon restriction. So you want to place your hand, palm down, on a flat surface like a table. Now, I'm sitting here at my keyboard, so I'm using my family songbook as a makeshift table. And keep your fingers relaxed. Now, keeping your palm and those other three fingers, the index finger, ring finger, and pinky, or an index finger, third finger, and your pinky, you slowly try to lift only your ring finger straight up. So you can see I'm doing that right there. But don't be shocked if it barely moves, or if your middle and your pinky finger, they try to come up with it. That's totally normal. That's nothing to worry about. The real goal is to focus your mental energy on isolating that one finger. So even if you can only move it just a little bit, that's okay. You can lift it as high as you can without straining. You just lift it as high as you can, hold it for 3 to 5 seconds, and you should feel the muscles in your forearm and the back of your hand are engaging. And then you slowly lower it back down. So we're not trying to do a whole bunch of quick movements here. We're just moving it very slowly. Slowly up, hold it for 3 to 5 seconds, slowly back down. And you can repeat this 10 to 12 times on each hand. And then maybe 2 or 3 sets of 10 to 12 times. This is about building a clearer communication line from your brain to that finger. It's not about how high you can lift it. The second exercise is the thumb to ring opposition pinch. This move targets the small muscles in your hand, not in your fingers, but the small muscles in your hand. And these are the muscles that the ulnar nerve controls. And it helps with fine motor skills and strength of your pinch. Anyway, what you want to do is hold your hand out in front of you. I got to do this without knocking my microphone out. Hold your hand out in front of you, palm facing up. And you gently bring the tip of your thumb to touch the tip of your fourth finger. Now, you might find this a little bit challenging, but that's okay. And so you end up forming an O shape. Try not to let your other fingers help out. So the thumb is coming up, fourth finger has to move a little bit, and then you press the two fingertips together with gentle but firm pressure. Don't let your fourth finger collapse like that. You hold this pinch for 5 to 10 seconds. Now you should feel a light contraction in the muscles at the base of your thumb and in your palm. So this is going to feel like a flexing of this muscle right here. And then you slowly release and straighten out your fingers. So you repeat this 10 times. And as it gets easier, only until it gets easier. Don't try this too quickly. You can increase the hold time or the pressure. This simple pinch, I should say, strengthens the very muscles that get weak from ulnar nerve compression. Now, if you don't remember all this stuff about nerves and things like that, just remember these two exercises because they will help with that weak fourth finger. Now, we're going to go to the overhead camera, and I'm going to show you a couple things you can do on the keyboard to help with the fourth finger. So here's what we're going to do. Place your hand in a 5-finger position, nice and relaxed, and then gently hold the other fingers down. And then we're very slowly just play the fourth finger. Notice I said gently. You're not trying to press really hard. We don't want to force anything, because if you do that, then everything tightens up and it actually gets worse. Now, I must admit, in times past, I was very guilty about trying to play that fourth finger with as much force as possible. We just want to play very gently. Now, of course, we need to do this with the left hand as well. So you just press all 5 notes down, and now we're only going to play the fourth finger. Now, this might be a little bit of a challenge at first. You can do both hands together. And then you can try playing rhythms. Now, you might remember something like this when I did a video on the technical exercises of Franz Liszt. We did something like this. Now, unfortunately, I don't think I really emphasized that you should not press and try to play it loudly. I think to begin with, if you're just getting used to working with your fourth finger, you want to keep it very gentle. Even at this slow pace, with just a very gentle touch, you can start to feel it. Now, if you start to feel any strain, any pain, stop. Shake your hands out a little bit. Let them rest. Don't overdo it. You'll cause yourself harm if you do. And believe me, I've been very lucky I did not hurt myself because I tried so hard to make that fourth finger super strong when in reality, it just needs to learn to cooperate with the other fingers. Now, you can play a simple 5-note pattern, but go slowly enough so that you can feel what the fourth finger is doing. You're not rushing. You're not rushing past it. Pay attention to what your fourth finger is doing. Now, this can be extended to any exercise that you do. Maybe you're playing Hanon, or you're playing scales. Pay attention to what your fourth finger is doing during any exercise, and always try to avoid tension. Don't make the mistake, which I made many times in my early career as a pianist, of trying to strengthen the fourth finger by pressing harder, by pushing harder. It doesn't really help you all that much, and all it does is create tension. And it makes practicing the piano a very unpleasant experience. One of the biggest mistakes I see, and I fell into this trap early in my journey as a piano player, is trying to strengthen the fourth finger by pushing harder. But piano playing isn't about force. It's about control. The more relaxed you are, the more responsive that finger becomes. I've been playing for many years, and I can tell you honestly, this finger never becomes perfectly independent. And that's okay. Great piano playing doesn't come from perfect fingers or finger independence, which is really kind of impossible. It comes from awareness, patience, and learning how your own hands work. So, if your fourth finger has been frustrating you, well, you're not behind. You're not doing it wrong. You're dealing with a problem or well, I guess it is a problem. You're dealing with a problem that every piano player has dealt with. And you're just learning something that every piano player has to learn. And with the right approach, you can learn how to get that fourth finger to be a little bit more cooperative. I also have a downloadable PDF which will help you remember what we've covered in this video. So that's available on the At Home with Music website. I'll leave a link in the description. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, any comments, if you're a hand therapist and you need to correct some of the things that I tried to get through in this video, please let me know. If you'd like to support my work, you can go to my Patreon page. The link is in the description. You can also buy me a coffee. Thank you so much for all your support. I look forward to speaking to you in the next one.